You leave him there. Where's Sister Jude? I have to speak to her right away. This man is a monster. You should see what he's got in his office.
Go, sister.
I've waited so many years for this. I can wait a few more minutes.
Drop a gun or I'll blow your goddamn head off.
Hey guys, Ryan and Greg here, and we're back breaking down more American Horror Story Asylum. This is episodes 5 and 6.
Now, warning, there are spoilers ahead, but just for episodes 5 and 6. We're gonna stick along with you guys for each and every episode. We're gonna try not to go too far ahead.
Let's jump into episode 5. All right, episode 5 is I Am Anne Frank Part 2, a conclusion to what we watched last week. And it doesn't look too good for Arthur Arden. He's at gunpoint. But
How's he gonna get out of this?
She opened the door, and you know the mutated Shelley is there. A pretty good cliffhanger to end last episode.
Kill me.
I wonder how Arden's gonna get out of this one. Do you think, okay, he's done now. His goose is cooked, as they keep saying throughout the entire show.
I have a feeling he's gonna get out of this.
Me too.
Pretty easily.
Now, before we talk about Arden, let's talk about our new character, Sam Goodman.
He's trying to find out the truth about Arden.
Yes.
His dark past.
He's a Nazi hunter, Holocaust survivor, who was recommended to Sister Jude.
Right, and I just want to say Mark Margulies, the actor that plays him, incredible actor, really good job here, but also if you've seen Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, he's an awesome actor and it's just a phenomenal job with this role.
He did a great job, and you can tell when you get through these parts in this episode and the next one he's in, he's only shot in one room.
Yeah.
So you can tell, like, oh man, this guy's, let's get him in for maybe
really
like
quickly.
1 day.
Yeah.
I think it was just 1 day of shooting for him, and they had him out. Check and all, I love him. And he's just moving, he moves over to the bed, answers the door, that's
Picks
it.
up the phone, puts something on the wall, all in a day's work.
So Sam tells Jude about Operation Paperclip.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Right.
It's a real thing. It actually happened after World War II. Americans, we decided to bring over, I think it was like around 1,500 German scientists, engineers. The more you look it up, you're just going to pull your hair out from what happened. But the excuse was at the time was, either America has to do it or the Soviets will.
Right.
The Soviets will take all of them. So we got to do it. So they brought in everyone and hid them under new identities or gave them new jobs. So it's a huge moral dilemma. There are no winners here for the most part.
Totally. So that's how he assumed the new name of Dr. Arthur Arden and then got a job in the insane asylum to carry out more of his really dark experiments on people. So it seems that Charlotte is suffering from some postpartum psychosis. I know that because I called up my wife to make sure. She's a nurse. And she told me that's probably likely what it was. What's it called after a woman that has childbirth and she goes like a little bit crazy? And
postpartum psychosis.
Sorry?
Postpartum psychosis.
Postpartum psychosis. When women kind of go a little bit crazy, have a traumatic experience during childbirth, and she's assuming like a whole new identity in this case.
She saw the Anne Frank play, and this is when it all started, apparently.
Right, so she actually did have a ton of things, as we see, on her wall. Like she did a lot of research into it and thought that she was a totally different person and assumed the identity and then starts like investigating.
And this is where the horror story comes in, like where the magic all starts. Like, how did this happen? How did this get into her head all of a sudden? And how did she point out Arden, who is in fact Hans Gruber? And our first big plot hole is Shelley. She arrives at a school, apparently, or a playground.
Because we last saw her in the lab, right? In the hidden door.
Yeah.
Door.
So Charlotte Anne Frank opens that door and then is like, you can go, leave.
I don't know about you, that is an incredibly hard thing to do.
That is a journey.
Yeah, I mean, how close is the school to the asylum, and then just crawling the entire way, making your way down those stairs, like, yeah.
And it just ends on the kid screaming. So we'll meet her again in the next episode.
Yeah.
But let's get back to Grace and Kit.
Yeah, they're like separated in the solitary confinement, right? And they have like two separate spots, and they basically they said that they were going to sterilize both of them.
That scene just reminded me of like Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Ray and
The
Kylo are
force
talking.
projections talking to each other.
With the shirt off, Kylo. Yeah, that scene. I don't know why. It just reminded me.
Just show the Kylo clip. We want to see it again.
Do you have something, a cowl or something you can put on?
Now, Kit is actually saved from the procedure. Sister Mary Eunice comes in and takes him out, but unfortunately, Grace has to go through with it. Now, before she actually is worked on,
Goes under the knife. She goes under another knife.
yeah, she gets the aliens come find her
They just
and probe
come
her.
and go through this place, don't they? They
Yeah.
just,
It's pretty crazy how quickly they just pop in and out of this whole sequence.
this season.
But the biggest significance of this whole thing is that she actually sees Alma, Kit's wife.
Yes, we think. Well, her perspective is she sees
Right.
something that's Alma. Again, is Alma alive here or is she dead? What's going on? And Grace now, is she pregnant? Did they impregnate her? Did they pull something out of her? As we find out later, that we don't know what the
Yeah,
case
it's
is yet.
interesting because you do realize that Kit's been intimate with both these women before the aliens showed up. So either they were pregnant before, the aliens have some crazy sense of they already know that there's a pregnancy going on, or that it was the aliens, in fact, themselves that have implanted something into these women. We don't know yet exactly. But what we do know is that she comes out of it like at a different plane of enlightenment in terms of like she knows the truth now, or she at least believes the truth. She believes
Kit.
a different truth. Yeah, she
Yes.
believes Kit, which no one else. She said she believed Kit before this, but now she like, okay, I really believe you.
I literally saw the light. I know what's going on now. Next up, Dr. Thredson brings in Kit with a tape recorder, to get his confession or something like that. Just
Yeah, it's meant to be framed as if he's like helping Kit out, but
Yeah, no.
if you're paying close attention, like you know that like it's not a good idea for Kit to go ahead and do this, and it's an example of like someone who has the knowledge, expertise, and taking advantage of someone who has no clue and is just very scared. Obviously, Kit is in this. He doesn't, from the get-go, he knows that he's innocent and he shouldn't be there in the first place. So he's getting taken advantage of. And the whole time I'm just like hoping, like, please don't say it, Kit.
Don't say anything.
Don't
on
say
camp.
anything. Don't give him
say it
any
to the camp.
evidence. Don't
Nope.
don't let him convince you that you did something that you didn't do.
But apparently he did do it because they pull him away now. The police come and get him immediately after this.
Yeah. So he's basically done, thanks to Thredson kind of motivating him and pushing him in that direction. Now, using what we know about Thredson and his treatment of Kit, he also tries to help Lana, and we know it's not going to be with good intentions either. You already know that he's going to do something very horrible, but he does offer his hand to get her out of the building.
Yes, he's like, the great escape, we're breaking out.
Yeah.
You're just gonna walk out with me with just my boxes.
Pretty
I'm gonna
tense.
leave.
It was a pretty tense moment to get to that whole scene, and then when Frank comes out, was it Frank that went outside?
It was Frank. It was Frank. Of course it was Frank.
And then she's in the car and she's just waiting for. She's just, please let me get out of here, and it worked.
I don't work here anymore, Frank. As a matter of fact, I never did. You can tell her I said that.
Can I just say that Frank's doing a stand-up job as security here?
Only the best security at the asylum.
Good job, Frank.
All right, let's talk about Dr. Thredson's house, his Airbnb. You don't want to stay there, though.
Oh, I really would. That would be funny if you actually go to an Airbnb and you got the
Yeah, you're like-
skin lamp and shit.
You're like noticing little things like, that looks like human skin.
Oh, that is a college. That's a
like-
college screenplay right there. That I can
is-
tell you, there's a screenplay on someone's desk. Just needs to be dust off right
the
now.
horror movie Airbnb.
Yes,
yeah.
that
Oh my God.
exists.
Let's go. You know what? Let's go right there right now.
Back to Thredson for a second. Sorry about that. Lana figures it out slowly.
I like how it was shot though.
Yes.
Because like you're paying close attention. 'cause,
Execution's great.
Because we're on pins and needles. We don't know what's going to happen, and we are also very very cautious about this Thredson and about what he is going to do for real to her. And then just to pay close attention to the bowl of candies on the desk, to the lampshade, all the little things, and you're like, holy shit, this is actually happening.
Because you're like, okay, it's not going to end up well for her the second he hangs up her phone when she tries to call out.
Yeah. Classic horror movie.
Classic horror. Everyone knows at this point too because of the character. This is episode 5. And bravo to everyone in the writer's room who decided, you know what, let's reveal it now.
Yeah.
Let's do it now. Let's not wait any longer. And this is one of the best episodes because of that. And like you said earlier, it's Hannibal Lecter. This is straight up Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
A little bit of, again, Texas Chainsaw Massacre put in there. But you know Thredson's not a good guy, but you don't know just yet if he's bloody face or not. And this was a great way to reveal it.
Right, because you also can understand why he would be saying what he's saying in this situation, right? Like, he broke the law. He got her out of that asylum. So you're like, okay, I kind of see what he's saying. Like, you probably shouldn't go right back to call somebody that knows where you're going to be or what the police might think that you would do.
Yeah.
But still, we have the major doubt about the character of Thredson at this point.
So then finally she stumbles upon his little furniture workshop.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic thing, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go use the restroom, and then you have to go check out the whole place and see if there's any exits and how you can get, yeah. And then you fall into his skin workshop where he's been working on numerous new goods to sell on Etsy.
Not a candle shop or anything like that in there. He's got, all right, just skin shop, cool.
Yeah.
Goodbye, horses.
Yes.
My favorite part it's gotta be where she's just looking up at Thredson like, okay, where's this going? And then immediately, bye Felicia, drops her down a hole.
Now, I don't know about you, but I thought that definitely she broke her legs, at least.
There's no way. Watching that scene, you're like, she dropped. She was gone out of the shot entirely.
I don't think that they put her, dropped her into a bed or a nice, fluffy down comforter. I'm sure he dropped her, maybe not onto that floor that we see in the next shot, but...
With some kind of incline?
Yeah.
You just
slow little...
put it in your head.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, incline.
It sounded like it was going to be a horrific splatter.
She flew. Yeah. Watch it again. She's gone. Sure, okay, just gonna have to use your own imagination here and say, okay, there's a little slide or something at the end there. Maybe there was a cushion for her, and then he moved her over to the other room when she was unconscious.
I don't know. Now, we do get a glimpse of Bloody Face's little underground basement torture chamber, and I enjoyed everything about this scene. I think it was just really well designed, and I think the way it was shot as well was awesome. This shallow depth of field, and it made you feel extremely claustrophobic in every angle that they used. And then we find out that he had Wendy on ice. I mean, this guy is a total horror.
Again, good execution because she looks over at Wendy, she turns the body, you see she's frozen. She comes back, the camera, she hits the back of the freezer, slams down on her, scream, enter Bloody Face Thredson. It was cool. Great job.
She's been on ice for a while. I was hoping she'd be a little more pliable by the time you came to.
Now, back at the asylum, we get an update on Charlotte. Now, remember, she shot Arthur in the knee, so, he wants a little revenge. He's not really happy with that.
Yeah.
And, Arthur kind of wants a little, revenge, and he's happy to use his scalpel and, all those type of things in order to get that revenge. So he has the brilliant idea to tell Charlotte's husband that he has a procedure that would, fix all things for him.
Of course.
And make her back to normal. And that means lobotomizing her.
Now, with all that said, the final reveal we get in this episode is a confirmation that, or at least we believe it's a confirmation, that Arden is in fact a Nazi doctor.
Right. Yeah, we get that kind
Zoom
of
in.
epilogue to the whole episode, and it's Charlotte back at home with her husband and baby. And I had this feeling that something horribly was going to happen, even though that she was lobotomized. I thought something was going to happen with the baby.
I thought she was just going to set the house on fire.
Yeah,
or
something crazy was going to happen, but she's been completely wiped. She's not the same person she was before. But you see remnants of what she was investigating on the wall there.
Yeah.
And they cleverly, the camera pans in and shows you that, holy shit, yes, Arden was a Nazi. But the big thing is that, unfortunately, besides Charlotte, no one else has this evidence that he was that Nazi doctor. So it kind of dies with her, the lobotomized Charlotte.
But does it?
Don't worry. She won't bite. I took her teeth.
Okay, who's our MVP for this episode? I think it's pretty easy to say.
It's got to be Thredson.
Yes.
I think it's Zachary Quinto does an amazing job. In the beginning of, you want to trust him. He's very, informative and helping out two of our main characters that we are obviously rooting for. And then he flips the switch, but it's very subtle how he does it. He doesn't just go all crazy. He really earns every ounce of the screen time that he's there.
Yes, I really appreciated the acting here, where he's able to pull it back just a little bit, not too crazy.
Yeah, I like how calm he is during the whole thing,
Yeah.
and how he's very he's in control and full of confidence, and he knows exactly what he's after. I think that he did an incredible job, and probably one of the best villains that we've seen in American Horror Story.
All right, let's jump into favorite moments before we move on to the next episode. Mine's got to be the old school TV trope style they use for the Anne Frank segments with her back at home with the husband, all the flashbacks. That was really cool. I like that.
Awesome. Yeah, those are really good. Mine, again, I'm sorry, I say this every single time, but like the Thredson stuff in this episode was just like top notch.
Drop, bam, everything.
Yeah, I think the reveal when she first stumbled upon his hobby room, his closet full of skin. I just thought it was really well done, and that he's around the corner waiting for her, like, oh, look what you found. Like, I thought it was really awesome. I mean, we've seen this done countless times in horror films and TV shows, but this was like some of the best.
Yes. Again, I brought up Hannibal, but I forgot to say Cowboy Bill, because that's really what he was going after, including that scene where they drop him. He's like holding onto the wall a little bit.
Yeah.
Reminds you of the scene where he's just, Cowboy Bill's just... Okay, let's jump into episode 6 now, the origins of monstrosity.
Yes.
Okay, so we start off in 2012.
Back to those flash forwards.
Back to present day.
Yeah, the honeymooners are, somewhere in the asylum.
Yes.
But we realize that there are 3 imposters hanging from the ceiling.
Yes, so one was killed by Teresa, and the other 2 were chasing them beforehand. Yes.
Okay.
So
there's
that's
a
all
lot of masks out there.
They're very authentic.
Where the
masks,
hell
too.
do they purchase these masks? Or they made them? No, there's no way they made them.
No. But with that said, so the real or new bloody face killer, whoever's out there, he leads a tip to the police to go check that place out.
Remember, these are really good cops. They
Yes.
know. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then we go back to 1964 at the asylum, and we get another new character, a little angel, Jenny.
Little Jenny.
Not quite an angel, actually. Her mom brought her into the asylum because she is not acting nothing like a nice little angelic child. She has never cried in her life.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And she also tells a story of when Jenny, her one friend that she hangs out with,
Josie,
was murdered.
Yes.
And she described some other man that had killed her.
In a brown coat.
She also finds some of Josie's hair in her clothes when she was washing the laundry.
Yep.
So she knows that there's something evil going on with Jenny. And she's
oh.
hoping that the asylum would have the answer.
Yeah. All that makes sense. She figures out, oh, my kid probably killed these kids. And at that time period, she's like, all right, let me just send her off somewhere else.
Right. She doesn't have the heart to like bring her to the cops, obviously, or do that. It's her daughter.
Yeah, she wants to fix the problem, but she sent her to possibly the worst place to try to find help at Briarcliff. The murder house is next on that list at this point.
Now, this whole time, little Jenny was giving me some serious Michael Langdon vibes when he was young. We're coming off of watching Apocalypse, and fresh in our minds is obviously Murder House as well. So we know little killers as well as anyone. So as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh man, this is trouble.
I tried to stop him, but he was bigger than me, and he said he would kill me too if I didn't stand very still and be quiet.
Now, with the title called Origins of Monstrosity, you're thinking, all right, what are they going to talk about here? They go over multiple origin stories in this episode, which is kind of cool. We start with Bloodyface.
Yep.
We get a little backstory into his character. He's a doctor. During medical school, he meets his mother.
Yeah, he has some mother abandonment issues that, and then he projects that onto another corpse when he's in dissection during schooling
because of a joke, a bullying, sort of semi-bullying.
Right. So he obviously has some issues that he has to work out, and he explained that he needed that touch. That's why he's so attracted to the skin.
Yes.
It has to be like warm, living skin, not the cold stuff that you find on the dissection
formaldehyde.
table.
He smelled formaldehyde that changed it, and he's like, "No, I need the real thing."
Yeah.
And
so we get exactly how he evolved into this sadistic killer that he is, but also he's been a presentable, normal citizen on the outside.
The next backstory we get is from Arden and specifically Monsignor Howard.
Right.
How the two of them met. Now, before this happens, Monsignor Howard pays a visit to Shelley.
Yeah.
He didn't know it was going to be Shelley. He was just invited there.
Right, to say some last rites.
Say some last rites, and he realized that was Shelley. And again, my version of this scene, it cuts to a black screen. You don't see anything. Cuts to a black screen before you actually get him to, what we find out later, he just chokes her out.
Yeah.
With the rosary.
He obviously can't have, one, put her out of her misery, two, cannot have her explaining anything of what went down at the asylum.
Nope.
Now, we saw in previous episodes that Monsignor Howard was, kind of took the side of Arden in a few of the conflicts between Arden and Jude. So now it makes sense why he was doing that. Obviously, Arden has a lot of dirt on himself, but if he gets caught, he's definitely going to take down the Monsignor with him.
Yeah, he tells him no matter what, if you say anything or anyone says anything, there's a lot of secrets here that you don't know about.
Right.
Everyone's going down.
And remember, you let me and gave me the okay to do these experiments on people.
But I'm sure Howard's like, did I really say that? Did I say experiment on humans and create these monsters?
Yeah, he didn't go so far as saying that, but he did allow him to do. Maybe he gave him a little too much freedom down in that basement, right?
It's one of those you ask for forgiveness. Side note, R.I.P. Spivey, I guess. Mark Consuelos, coming off of Riverdale and going back into this show and going, oh shit, that's him. Oh my God.
Quite the
And the character he's playing.
Right.
Like, okay, so I'm trying to think, in 2012, all right, so we're not, it's cable. So it's not it's not for the kids. Yeah. I know this show is not for the kids, but I'm thinking back in 2012, he delivers this line to Dr. Arden.
I'm not sneaking around with my pants down anymore. It was Sister Mary Eunice that asked me to come watch and flash a pussy.
Okay, let's talk about Mary Eunice here with her little conversation with little Jenny, which is my favorite part.
Yeah.
It really is, because this brings me back to Murder House a little bit,
yeah.
and even the future, looking at other seasons, how they kind of like plant the seed.
Yeah.
For things to come, or at least in this, when we talk about origin stories, this is also the origin story for Jenny, really. We don't know. At least, I gotta go back and look at the other seasons, but we don't know anything about Jenny going forward.
Right.
With that said, this episode we get a little bit backstory into also Mary Eunice. Her little hazing, bullying, this party prank.
That was like a horrible prank to play on somebody. And like, I don't understand what exactly was going on. She didn't have a bathing suit underneath?
Like a little bit of Carrie vibe, you know. That's kind of what they were going with. It's so sad to go from that, knowing that Mary Eunice, she's still, it's going to be tough for her to make it out of this alive.
Oh, yeah. And obviously that...
The real Mary Eunice.
Right. And the effect that hazing had on her, it transformed her life. She was a very timid and afraid and scared, and then once the devil possesses her, it's a flip is switched and she's a completely different person.
Kaiser Sose, just walking out of there.
And you're right, like we don't know that she could survive this and get the devil out of her.
Don't be a whiner. You're smarter than they are. Don't you ever forget it. Maybe you just need to learn how to defend yourself.
So when it comes to Sister Jude, she is forced to resign. The Monsignor obviously takes Arden's side because he has some dirt on him.
Yep.
And she's basically packing up and ready to get out of there.
But before she does, she gets a phone call from Sam Goodman, good old Sam Goodman, lets her know before she hangs up on him that, oh, by the way, this guy, nope, he really is. Dr. Arden is Hans Gruber. And he tells her this whole thing about they have like a tattoo. German soldiers had a tattoo when they came over here. But with that said, obviously he tells her, don't try to look for that.
Yeah, he might be a flight risk.
But he has another job for her, get a fingerprint. And then a cool, funny little scene happens where Sister Jude, she gives a hug to Mary Eunice. And Mary Eunice is like, just looking at her red dress, just like, I want that dress, I want that.
Yeah, I want that red dress.
Sure enough, a few scenes later,
she gets it.
She's dancing in that red dress.
And she's just loving life right there.
Sam made another phone call. Sadly, Jude was not there, and it was Mary Eunice who picked up the line.
Didn't have voicemail back then.
Nope, and she just pretends to be Jude, I think. This is Jude. She changes her voice or something.
This is Jude. Hi, this is Jude.
Yes. Oh, okay, cool. I have this.
Tell me everything.
I have this top secret information I got to tell you right now.
Did you say top secret?
Yes. You have a Nazi working for you.
Oh, who is it? Wait, what's your address? Can I come kill you?
Yes, here's my address. Here you go. Okay.
I'm gonna come kill you.
Okay, cool. Bye-bye.
Oh no!
Now, before Goodman dies, though, he does at least give Sister Jude a name. He tells her what happened.
Right.
She finds out it was a nun. And there's only one nun that could possibly be.
Right. Now, back at the asylum, Sister Mary, the possessed Sister Mary, Eunice, tells Arden that, don't worry, everything's taken care of, that she found
all of it. She found all the dirt.
She's yet again
protecting
him and kind of tied up all the loose ends of this kind of mystery.
But she lets him know that she has her own, just in case, emergency pack.
Yeah, I do like that little note that she said. She's like, and just to be clear, like, I do have some dirt on you that I have hidden away if you try to, like, kill me or blackmail me myself. So, the devil is pretty smart.
All you need to do is trust me with your entire soul. And I promise you that everything will work out.
Flash forward back to 2012, and we told you Teresa was not at the site where all the bodies were found. That's because she's with the real bloody face on another operating table. 2012 version of bloody face, and it does not look good for Teresa. Let's now talk about most valuable performances in episode 6. What would you say is yours?
Well, Sister Mary Eunice. She did it all this episode. She really was just taking control this entire episode from beginning to end, really. She's like, all right, Sam Goodman, I gotta take care of you. I gotta take care of Sister Jude, and I got this little kid now I'm dealing with, and I gotta talk to her and send her out there. The demon or Sister Mary Eunice, whoever is in control entirely, great job. I loved it entirely. Lily Ray was doing an incredible job this season.
I agree with you. And I have to pick Thredson. Zachary Quinto did a great job when he was revealing kind of the trauma in his life, in his early life, and why he is the person that he is today. The way that he's playing this monster, but also has some soft parts about him as well. Like he makes breakfast for her, but he also loves cutting people's skin, and this, he has a lack of, he's never been loved, and I think he just plays it perfectly.
At the same time, when I'm eating, I feel like, Lana's got to be like, is there people in this? What's going on here?
Yeah, what the hell am I eating? That's a good point. I would be really cautious on what I'm chewing.
I'll just take some water. It's all good.
Just ice water, please.
It's okay, because now that you're here, all of that work is behind me. Mommy.
All right, let's jump into favorite moments now. Mine has to be Jenny talking to the cops at the end. I don't know who did it.
He was tall, he had a beard, and a brown jacket. First he slashed my brother and sister's throats. Then he stabbed my mother in the back. I tried to stop him, but he said he would kill me too if I moved a muscle.
Yeah, I loved it. She's like almost following a script of like what to say. I don't know who did it. I couldn't do it. I don't move a muscle. She's following a script so that the cops won't think anything. But remember, these are really bad cops back in 1964.
And the cop just taps her on the heart.
Like,
yep, we believe
move
you.
it along, kid. Like, let's not check anything that you might have on you. Let's not check anything. Yeah. Mine has to be, and I'm boring you with this, but Thredson in his basement, and like I said last time, the camera work in here, it's very tight quarters. It actually doesn't, it feels tighter than it is, I think, and the use of the shallow depth of field of the camera work, it feels a very claustrophobic, like almost like you're in that situation with her, and I thought it was very effective. So it has to be my favorite part of not only this episode and the previous one, but maybe even the entire season so far.
Okay, that's it for us over here, everybody. Next week, we will be back with episodes 7 and 8.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of these breakdowns. And if you guys have any other ideas for American Horror Story videos, we would love to hear them. We'll probably do them after the new year, though.
Give us a second.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.